So today, well, we're going to be getting creative. And one of the things that I love about being at Hope Gardens today is that we have a very special person here. Kids Creative JA. I think that's what they call. I get the correct name. Don't worry about it. But listen, one of the things that I want to also, tell moms and encourage moms to do is ask for help, because the truth is I am not that creative when it comes to, doing the little gadgets and making the arts and craft. Me don't know them something there. But it's okay, because there are persons who that's their job, that's their world, that's their line of business. Lovely. Hello, the fun stuff. Hi guys. How are you, my sweetie? You're good? My name is Auntie Miss Kitty. What's your name? Amir. Oh, my nephew has that name. Amir. That's nice. High five, Auntie. Good job, sweetie. Hello, beautiful princess. How are you?
I'm good.
And what's your name?
My name is Ann-Merita Golding.
Oh, lovely. That's a beautiful name. Amira. My goddaughter's Amira as well. Nice to meet you, my sweetie pie. Hi, Auntie Petagay. What's up, my love?
Yes,
you
nice
good?
Seeing you again, Auntie.
Yeah, man. Nice to see you also. And when I see you, I know it's time to have fun. Not just the kids. I know it's for the kids, but really as mommies,
listen to me.
We enjoy too.
They do. The adults really love taking part as well. And this is Kiddies Craft JA.
Lovely. Thank you so very much, Kiddies Craft JA. And I want to tell my mommies, I'm happy that you're here today, because oftentimes as mommies, the truth is we're not all creative. We all want the things then, but until the truth is we cannot do it. And so we don't need to do everything. We can ask for help, and Kiddies Craft JA is here to make the fun come true, right?
Exactly.
So talk to us about your business. What is it exactly that you do?
So this is Kiddies Craft JA, and this was born out of a love for children and art and craft, because I'm a teacher. I've been a preschool teacher for over 20 years.
Lovely.
And I love craft, so I decided to merge both passions, and then Kiddies Craft is here now.
So what are some of the activities that you have for the kiddies?
So we do painting crafts, decal decorating of products, slime making.
Oh, slime. Oh,
yes,
wow.
Slime making.
Yeah.
Science experiments.
Nice.
It's a wide range of activities, because we know kids are easily bored. So we have to switch it up. So we know, yes, kids love coloring and painting, but sometimes they can make a nice bag.
Yeah.
Like this.
Like a keepsake.
A keepsake item. And all our products actually are keepsakes. Because even a rocket ship is something that they can look at for years. We have a piggy bank over there that they can paint and decorate.
Decorate, yeah.
Yes.
And what age do you start them off?
So we start at 12 months up to 12 years. And adults, I put adults in it because at the birthday parties, the adults are, why you leave me out? I want to paint.
Because we're young at heart too, Auntie Peter.
I want to do this. So it's for everybody.
Nice.
I'm a mobile service, so we come to you. So if you're having a birthday party, a play date, a corporate function, and you need the kids to be entertained, call Kiddies Craft. Well, guess what? Kiddies Craft is bringing out the kid in me today and in all of you. So, Auntie, where do we start? Where do I need to sit? So you put on the aprons for oh, Amira and Amir. Right, and let's start with the aprons because we have to keep the clothes. Oh, nice and clean. And Amira's hairstyle is so awesome. Hold on, Auntie put it on the wrong way. Let me just put it on the right way for Amira. Lovely, because I want to make sure, Amira look good and hot in our thing. Right? So, Amira, you liking what you're doing today? Yeah, what will you be doing today? Painting? Nice. What's your favorite color? Pink. Pink, lovely. I love pink too. Amir, what's your favorite color? Green? Okay, that's awesome. All right, so everybody's set up? Yes. Amira, it was so nice to color with you. Amir, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, awesome sauce, guys. You are so great. And Auntie, I really love this. I really appreciate this. And I really like the fact that Kiddies Craft JA is right here in Jamaica. And I can hear mommies now saying, Auntie, but Auntie, I live in Hanover. Auntie, Auntie Petagay, I live in Ochi. Auntie Petagay, I live in Montego Bay.
Mobile.
There goes your
We're
answer. She's mobile. So guys, you can call her to make the slime, to do the painting, to do the art and craft. They're here for you. And mommies, as I'm advocating, ask for the help. On Modern Mommy Diaries, we're going to be giving you the tips, the tidbits, the who, the where, the what, the resources, so that you can have it at your fingertips. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on that farm he had a lion, E-I-E. No, not a lion, the lion too big. Yeah, not on the farm, at the zoo. The lion gonna eat up everybody, right? And on that farm he had a duck, E-I-E-I-O. Lovely. Auntie Petagay, thank you so much for this. I know that this will be life-changing for a lot of mommies thinking about parties or play dates, or just something to entertain their children. Yep. Because the truth of the matter is, I don't have the wherewithal with these things. I don't know where to order these things. And guess what? Auntie Petagay is taking the hassle out of it all, and she cleans up afterwards, guys.
We clean up
Clutch. Thank you, Auntie Petagay. Kiddies Craft JA family. Gonna run to AA right now. And thanks, Amir. I sincerely appreciate you, sweetie.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Let me see your. Can I see your?
Turn it around for
May I
Auntie.
see, please?
Turn it around for her.
Oh, this is so great. Good job, Amir. Lovely. And lady Amira over here and her speedy rocket ship. She's mixing colors right over here. I think we have a Picasso in the making. Thank you, sweetie. Thanks, guys. All right, let me go get the baby. Big up your nice, clean self. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Modern Mommy Diaries. I'm your Queen Diva, Miss Kitty, and it's always a pleasure to serve you. Now, if you're just finding my channel, thank you so much. If you've always been here, thank you as well. Please do remember to like and subscribe, and also spread the word. Hit the notification bell so you can know exactly when we're on. So wherever you are in the world, you can be a part of Modern Mommy Diaries with me, Miss Kitty, okay? Big up your nice, clean self. And I'm always excited to, welcome my guests on this show, because we come to revolutionize how we view motherhood, how we approach motherhood, and how we treat with motherhood, which brings me to this very exciting episode about which I am so elated. I have wanted this young lady on my show for quite some time because she's a woman that I admire. She is quite qualified, very articulate, and her body good. Remember me told you, hey, muscle from all in her ears. Me not ask, stay good. And as a mommy, trust me, when I see her, I'm channeling that look. She is a speech-language pathologist. She is also a mommy. She is the daughter of the 8th Prime Minister of Jamaica, the Honorable Bruce Orrit Golding, and Gooda's mother, Lorna Golding, and she is my very special guest today. Ladies and gentlemen, please, my special guest is Ann-Merita Golding. What up, baby? Your body good, girl. How you do it? How you does it? Tell the mummies on Modern Mommy Diaries how you do it, please.
Well, a little bit of discipline and a little bit of consistency, and I'm here. I don't know, I wake up and I go to the gym, I brush my teeth, I go to the gym, I go to work, I go back home.
Were you always into fitness?
From I was a child, I was into track and field, all through school. And then, that kind of started the trend of working out in high school, going to the gym, and it stayed with me since.
I ask that because, Ann-Merita, a lot of mommies, we find it difficult to keep fit and to go to the gym and to really invest in that, because some people see it as not even being important at all. You have to, me not have to go to gym, girl. Me have homework to do. Me have picnic school uniform. How do you carve out that time for yourself? And how important is fitness as a part of your being a mom?
So it's really important to me. And for me, I guess because I've been doing it from my teenage years, you stop because you have exam, you have school, and then you have picnic. And so things get moved around. But it was important to me to establish some sort of, you can't really find balance all the time, but to put it in the juggling of my everyday life.
I like that. Put it in the juggling.
Yeah, that's what I did. And so because, you know, I am an entrepreneur, I'm able to build my own schedule.
Yeah.
And I build it into the schedule. So just as I have my clientele scheduled for the day, I have my gym time scheduled for the day.
Wow.
Some people are just not gym people.
Yeah.
And the goal is to be active. For me, weight lifting is very important to establish not just good health and good routine, but to have the type of body that I want.
Yeah.
It's important to me to do that for me. And also, you know, people have bad habits. They might eat the wrong things when they're stressed, or they may go out. Some may even do recreational drugs.
Yeah.
For me, my drug is a gym.
Yeah.
I leave everything in that weight room.
Wow.
Every stress, every burden. So it's also a place of escape for me. And I've been fortunate enough to try to establish some discipline in that area. So I'm in the best shape that I've ever been in my life, even compared to my 20s, because my weights have gone up. My trainer, Chris Pinnock, who sadly passed away, you know, rest in peace to him and his, you know, his family. But he, over the last year, almost 2 years, has put me in a position where I am in the best shape of my life. And I thank him for that, and I plan on continuing that in honor of his legacy.
Absolutely. And we say condolences to Chris, and of course, prayers to his family. We know how important a trainer is, right, in the life of a client. And so to all trainers, thank you for what you guys do, and girls too, all the time, especially for us mommies, who sometimes it can be so difficult to find the time. But as Ann-Merita just said, we have to schedule it in the juggling, which now you juggle so many things because you are a speech-language pathologist.
Yeah.
Who is that? What falls under your purview?
So a speech pathologist, just to shorten it, we are commonly also called speech therapists.
Okay.
And we are clinicians who are in the business of communication disorders and swallow disorders. I have to put that part in there because it falls under our scope of practice. So we deal with communication, but we also deal with swallow disorders, which we can discuss later.
Sure.
Communication disorders encompass not just speech, but also language and overall communication. So it can be also communication behaviors.
Such as?
Such as nonverbal communication, body language, social communicative behaviors. I always use the example, if you knock on a bathroom door and someone says, somebody, you don't just barge in, you just go, okay, and open the door and barge in and proceed to do whatever you want to do.
Yes.
You know that the bathroom is a private space and you heard someone is in there. Your communication should be, oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Or not to say anything
and just step away.
Step away.
Yes,
That's communication. You have individuals who, for whatever reason, may have deficits in communication, and we are clinicians who address those things. So in speech, we're looking at voice, we're looking at fluency, we're looking at any kind of speech disorder. So I have people that come to me who may have had vocal cord surgery, who may need therapy. I have people who come to me for stuttering. There are children or individuals.
Stuttering, aka stammer.
Stuttering. Okay. In the UK, they say stammering.
Yes.
On this side of the world, we may use stuttering. I have individuals who come because their children are not articulating certain sounds. I've also had big people come to me who work in PR or in media who may have a articulation error with some sounds and may need therapy. But I caution people, it's not public speaking that I deal with.
Yes.
Right? But in public speaking, you may find that you have an issue in articulation or in the quality of your voice, and you may need therapy, and a speech therapist would be the one to see you. From the language aspect, which I had mentioned before, is the meaning behind what is coming out of my mouth. You look at vocabulary, you look at things like sentence structure, you look at the meaning, you look at comprehension, because a part of communicating also deals with being able to understand and process information, because communication is not just one way, as we know, it is reciprocal. So that is the areas that we cover in speech-language pathology.
Pathology, wow, a wide gamut there. So parents listening to you now, are thinking, okay, so if my child has a speech problem or a communication problem or a language problem, Ann-Merita Golding is somebody who I would probably need to see.
Well, you could see me, although I get a lot of cussing on the internet because I'm one person.
Yes.
And there's only so many hours in a day, in a week, in a month. And so I have more people that want to see me than I am able to put on my caseload, because therapy is also a weekly thing, Miss Kitty.
Yes.
You don't just come today, like in a doctor's office who writes your prescription, you go and take your medicine and they probably don't see you back until you're sick again or you need a follow-up. Therapy is an ongoing
demanding
thing. So we are working on goals for your child, or we see adults as well. We're working on a weekly basis. So you would come to me every week at 1 o'clock on a Tuesday. Or if you have 2 sessions, they might come at Tuesday and Thursday at 1 o'clock. And so I can't see anybody else at that time because you're coming to me at that time on a weekly basis. So yes, someone would see a speech pathologist if they're having communication disorders, or if a child, we don't use the word disorders before a certain age because children are developing. So we use the word delay.
I'm happy that you mentioned that and you've given us the proper jargons to use, because using the proper words also help to communicate what may be happening or not happening at a particular time. Right. So we're talking about speech delays. Children are developing. How do we know as parents when there is an issue, when there is a red flag? If a child is not speaking or using words or following certain commands or directives, how do we know? Because right now, Ann-Merita, I'm not telling a lie, it seems and feels like a murky water out there, that every little thing now is a diagnosis, is a problem, when really and truly, sometimes the child may just need some time.
Right, and I'm glad that you raised that. So remember, a child can have a speech delay or a language delay because they're different. Remember, we said speech is like articulation, is the way you're hearing coming out of my mouth.
Right.
Now, a child might not be speaking, but don't have a speech delay. They might have a language delay because they're not using language, but the child make all eyes.
Okay.
So we know that they are communicating, they're just not communicating in a functional way that is age appropriate.
Aye.
Right?
Okay. Good.
All right. When we have our children, and you and I have 2 bononosis, right? As first-time parents, we were, well, I don't know about you, but I was glued to the what to expect when you're expecting and what to expect after.
Yes.
So we start to look at the milestones. You don't expect a 1-year-old to be not rolling over or not standing up.
Right.
Because we know that by 6 months, a child should be trying to pull up themselves to their feet. Well, speech and language milestones are no different. We expect that by 3 months, certainly, you're able to get the child's attention. When you come in and you say, "Mommy's home," they will be looking in your direction, making eye contact, maybe starting to smile because they recognize mommy's voice. That is a part of a communication milestone. When you get to 6 months now, you expect that the child will make a whole heap of babbling sounds. The cooing and the babbling. Between 6 and 9 months, the babbling would have increased now. So you're hearing the ba 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 and they're blowing the bubbles and they're trying to mimic the sounds that you're making as well, and what they're hearing in their environment, because that is a part of their speech and language milestones. So when your child cries, say, "Warm to the baby." What happened to them? Them bottom might be wet. All right, you check the pamper, nothing is there. Maybe them hungry, you go for a bottle. All right, them don't want the bottle. How them fussing? So maybe them in pain.
Yeah, look a gripe.
You are doing your investigative work as a parent because the child is communicating
that
to
something
you
is
that
wrong.
something is wrong. No, at 1 year old now, you don't expect that the child is going to be crying only to communicate to you. At that point, we begin to see that they're going to try to start saying some words, some vocabulary words.
Or pointing to stuff.
Right. Or you can, remember, language is not just what the child is able to communicate to you, but it's also what they're able to comprehend.
Gotcha.
So communication is not just one small pocket. It encompasses and covers a lot of things. So by 1 now, we expect that a child should have certainly 5 to 10 vocabulary words, things like ma, da, cat or dog, things in there of a car, or a caregiver or family member's name that they attempt to say. We expect that they're going to be attempting to say more. They may not get the whole word, mommy, but they might get ma, they might not get daddy, but they might get da. That is telling us that your child is on the right track.
Yes.
They're getting there. They're trying to communicate and they're producing some vocabulary words. So when you get to about 18 months now, let's carry it along. Your child should have in excess of 100 to 500 vocabulary words by 18 months, you know. Would you believe that? A lot of
that's not like university graduates.
It's so enough.
That sounds a lot.
It sounds a lot. But hang on. We understand it depending on where they are in the world, how they are stimulated, how they are engaged on a daily basis, it will vary. So I don't tell parents to panic.
Yes.
What I will say is to be aware that by 2 years old, we expect that a child should be speaking in 2-word phrases.
Okay.
Mommy, come. Daddy, no. Stop it.
Yes.
Sit down. Where would they have gotten that from? From what you introduced to them.
So it's so important then for parents, for mommies, to be very, very vigilant and talk to the children.
Intentional.
Yeah.
That's the word I like to use. You have to be intentional, because then when they call my office and say, Miss Golding, I think my child needs to come see you because she's 2 and she's not talking. I then have to do my investigative work to find out, okay, well, what are they doing from they wake up till them go to bed?
Yeah.
Oh, them at home with grandma. Okay. And what does grandma do with them during the day? Well, mostly them just, she on her tablet. And then you hear the voice kind of go down in volume because they begin to realize that, but my child really is not that stimulated at home.
Because there's also that screen time shame that is now out there in the digital space, you know what I mean?
Right.
So a lot of mommies don't like to admit that we used to, and I give my daughter screen time,
and
right?
The speech pathology, gave my daughter screen time. I just told you. Guilt, no shame in my game. In order for Lyle to eat her food, me used to put the tablet right there, and she watch Cocomelon or something she like, and the food is going into the stomach.
Yes, which is great.
I don't have an hour to sit down to feed you, and you're boxing away food.
Yeah.
It wasn't recommended, and I don't recommend it.
Yeah.
But it was what I needed to do to get by at the time.
And sometimes, to be honest, Ann-Merita, you might need a break, or you might be going somewhere, or something is happening. So this is my take on it, and then you as a professional can guide me, right? I do screen time, but I do accompanied screen time. So when AA is watching Miss Rachel, because it's all about Miss Rachel right now, girl.
Okay.
If you're not into Miss Rachel, hello.
Okay.
But I'm doing the things with her. So old MacDonald I will make the sounds.
So it's interactive.
So it's interactive. So it's not like she's ever there by herself watching it. We're always there. Is that okay? Because this no screen time thing, I don't really know about it.
That is what we recommend. That is 100% okay. You don't have time to sit down and watch Miss Rachel for probably more than an hour.
Yeah.
You have stuff to do.
Yes. And
we understand that we are busy mommies, and sometimes we really just have to put the child in front of the TV or the device.
So I can get to eat too.
I can get to eat or shower or
so I can use the bathroom at the very least.
Or see a client or have a work call or send off some emails. We get it.
Yes.
But what a lot of us get stuck in is that is not just an hour or maybe an hour and a half. That's the whole day.
Oh, wow.
The child is at home, and when you ask them what them do, they've not been read to. They've not been played with their blocks or their puzzles. They've not been taken outside to do any nature walks or to go and just pick grass and pick leaves and be stimulated. They're at home and they're with a caregiver or they're with a family member who is washing, cooking, cleaning, and so they're left to just be given a device, and that's it. So they're not guided through, nor are they stimulated for communication through being guided.
But let me ask you though, Ann-Merita though, why is that a problem? Because the Cocomelon people, they're talking to them, they're singing. So what is the issue? Why is screen time bad? Unaccompanied screen time? Because I'm like, Miss Rachel is talking, she's interacting.
Let me tell
you
why.
So what a problem?
Remember, children are a blank slate. You and I know how communication works, and it is never one way.
Yeah.
So what you find is that there is a lot of receptive language happening. They're looking at a screen, it's bright with lots of colors, there's no context. We as human beings are hardwired to learn speech and language through human interaction. Because when me hear this small missus, whenever I have no tablet.
Not at all. You only take tablets, you don't watch tablets. Yeah. Yeah.
You understand? We were outside riding bikes.
True.
We were
playing dandy shandy, skipping.
We were
playing in dirt, playing marble, jacks.
And even though sometimes we were playing by ourselves, most of the times we were not.
And you know what I noticed?
We had a sister, a cousin, the people them in the scheme, in a complex.
Or we were busy making up scenes in our, you know what I mean?
Right.
So we're creating stuff.
Right.
I don't know if anybody else used to do this, but you used to play school and you're the teacher.
Scripting.
And
it's called
little boy over there, and there's no boy because, you know, it's an imaginary play.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh.
We were scripting, and that was another way we also learned to use language because we had the practice.
Yes.
So I used to put on my towel, come and have long hair, tie it up with a scrunchie and set up the Barbie them in them school or the home because Barbie was married to Ken.
Yes.
And we had the house and I was scripting for everybody. I see my daughter doing it now, it warms my heart.
Nice.
Because I have cut out screen time from Monday to Thursday.
Also, absolutely no screen time.
No screen time.
When would you say, based on your professional knowledge and expertise, when is it okay to put them in front of the screen and for how long?
So for children under 1 year, screen time is not recommended. Their brains are not developed enough to even be able to understand or process what is in front of them. It just looks like movement. Right? So once a child is 18 months and over, I believe the recommended amount by the American Pediatric Association is 30 minutes to an hour, and it must be guided or supervised. So they're not just blindly watching a screen. It's like you said, you're engaging with them, you're singing the songs, and they're putting some context and interaction towards that experience. As you go up, really and truly, it is a couple, maybe not more than 2 hours, 3 hours a week. And that's a week, so we can break that down into 30-minute increments per day. It has changed a little bit because of the pandemic and the introduction of screens for learning.
Right.
So there's some allowance has been made. But when we're talking about children who are very young and not speaking and do not have a blueprint to use language, then you have a problem. By giving them the screen and leaving them unattended, you are not creating a better situation for them to learn language because they're not going to learn it through Miss Rachel, just sitting down watching Miss Rachel like this. It has to be modeled for them, the use of language. And another thing I must say to mummies, you're not creating enough opportunity for them to even want to use language.
Meaning what? What do you mean?
Children are home, but guess what? They're not independent. They have needs.
Yes.
So, them always want something out of the kitchen or the fridge.
Yes.
They always want to do something.
They always want you to lift them up.
Yes.
Yes.
And you know, in the case of lift up, what is the easiest way for a child to prompt you to lift them up?
Well, they either stretch out their hand or start crying.
They come to you and they stretch out their hand. If you're standing, they stretch your hand up towards you, or they start to tug on your clothes
to climb up,
and you just automatically pick them up. It doesn't even dawn on us that that is a language stimulating moment.
Oh.
What happened? What do you want? Tell mommy what you want. That's a phrase I used to use a lot. Tell mommy what you want. Because now the expectation is I want you to attempt to verbally tell me what it is you want or need.
Yes.
And then you introduce the single words. Up.
Yes.
Up. Then it can move from that to up, please.
Yes, up, please.
Then it can move to I want up, please. And then it can move to mommy, pick me up, please.
Yes.
Because you have now created a blueprint of what it is you expect of the child to do when they want to be lifted up.
Yes.
We're not creating opportunities, we are just meeting needs. So the bottom clean, the belly full, they are safe, they're not in any danger, they are loved and kissed, and that's the length and breadth of it. So the child doesn't even need to have to communicate.
True, because all his or her needs are just met.
They're met and met without any need to communicate.
Yeah.
Or communicate at the bare minimum.
Wow. Now you see, mummies, why I love this lady and why we have to have these conversations, because many of us never go school for what Ann-Merita go school for. I don't know if I'm doing it the right way. Nobody even tells you these things, right? And so a lot of us have approached it in a blind way, and sometimes when we recognize or get the vision or the insight, it sometimes can be too late. Which brings me to another segment that I want us to explore, that of diagnosis. So I noticed that in the nowadays society, every other child seems to be diagnosed with something. If it's not ADHD, ADD, THC, ABC, HBO, Cinemax, everything, YouTube, okay? To me, I'm not certain if it is that we are over-diagnosing in our nowadays context, because when I juxtapose what is happening now with what happened back then, I never used to hear of so many children with all of these proclivities. It could also be that back then maybe they were underdiagnosed because we this is one pitney at one way, and you just kind of brush it off. Well, in dancer, in badar, in get trouble, you see. But maybe they were having a problem and it was undetected or undiagnosed. So I don't know if it's underdiagnosed back then or overdiagnosis now. Where are we with the diagnoses?
It's no secret that a lot more children are being diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, as well as other developmental disorders like ADHD.
What is that again?
Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder.
And the ADD is which one?
It's the same thing. Attention deficit disorder. It's just that
one hyper, one.
Well, it has more. These diagnoses sometimes morph as they get more knowledge and research of them.
Okay.
That's not my area because I don't treat for ADD or ADHD. Though I do have clients who, along with their autism diagnosis, can have an ADHD diagnosis. So they're not only on the spectrum, but they have attention deficit hyperactive disorder as well.
Wow. So but why though, Ann-Merita? What is causing it though?
You know, this is the mystery question that we have.
Yeah, I want to know.
It's a mystery, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, we know why, because the research is ongoing.
Okay.
They don't know what is causing some of these things. They assume that some of it is environmental. You know, we hear the things, and some, you think sometimes there's conspiracy theories, which those exist as well.
Yeah.
But the food we eat has changed.
Yes.
Miss Kitty. We're not going to talk.
True.
That's truth.
True.
The food has changed.
True.
The environment has changed.
True.
And when you look at their brains, it looks very similar or the same
to the 80s brains.
To any other typically developing child who does not have these issues. But a lot of children right now, up to 2018, I believe the statistics were 1 in 41 children are born with autism.
Wow. What exactly is autism?
So it's a neurodevelopmental disorder that affects the way a child communicates and also affects their behaviors and their communication behaviors. They don't look any different from any other child, but they behave differently, they communicate differently, and more than anything, they experience the world differently.
Okay.
So you're looking on a child and they look typically developing, but they're not speaking. They don't make eye contact. They have emotions that are hard to manage. They're on the floor, they're screaming. Loud sounds may trigger them. Bright lights may trigger them. A crowded space may be overwhelming for them because of how they process information and how they process their environment. And they're not able to communicate with the same nuances and abilities that we are able to.
So sometimes I'm wondering, Ann-Merita, is it that sometimes the children need to get out? You know, it's so funny. The more things advance, it's almost as if there is a regression. Back then, we did outside, we in a dirt to play, we play marble, we play jacks, you play Chinese, keep you look at dandy shandy, you're outside with your friend, them, you play boat house, you make little paper boats and you're outside. And sometimes I wonder if it is that because a lot of the children now, especially probably our boys, they're in the house, they're in these apartments and in these townhouses, you know, locked away, all by themselves. And sometimes I figure, or I'm wondering if it's pent-up energy that they just need to really go outside, as you said, interact with nature, go pick 2 grass, go kick 2 ball, climb 2 tree, swing, instead of just being on the ceramic tile in the AC, with the tablet all day by themselves.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
They want to pick 2 mango.
And makes it hard to differentiate from what is really a developmental issue and what is an environmental one.
Achoo.
I will agree with you that a lot of children, I guess because science has evolved, there's a lot more diagnosing happening and happening earlier.
Yes.
Because they have the tools to do so.
Yes.
However, some children are misdiagnosed because they're diagnosed early, because remember, children are developing.
True.
And one thing I must tell mommies, there's no cookie cutter approach. You may have had 2 children before and me never have this problem. They were fine. I mean, not feel like me do anything different. You can't take the same approach to your firstborn that you are taking to your thirdborn, because they're different. Yes, same genetic makeup, but different in function.
Yes.
And so now that you have a child who is not developing at the same rate as your first 2 children, you now have to take a different approach. The thing is, I said to parents, think back to when you were younger. What were you doing at the time? No, I'm the third child of 3 children. My sister is 11 years older than me.
Yes.
Stephen is 8 years older than me. So when I came along, them energy expired.
Yes.
Right? And I was left to do a lot of things by myself. And I probably get away with highway murder too.
Yes.
But the level of probably in-person interaction that my siblings got, I did a lot more as like an only child, like by myself. They didn't take the same approach, but they had the same fundamentals, the discipline, the nutrition, the values at home. There were things that were constant.
Right.
And I feel that now parents are moving away from what used to be. So no longer do we have the level of discipline that we have and boundaries.
Boundaries, yeah.
Right? So you have a child who, all right, they're using the tablet or the iPad at home the whole day. At no point do you say, okay, 30 more minutes, and then we're turning that off and we need to do something else. And then when you take away the device from the child,
tantrum, yeah, flick out.
And throw down an attitude. I could never try it with Lana. You must be mad.
Lady March, Father God is saying no say. You wouldn't know me now, Ann-Merita. I know that need speech therapy. Me not ask. Would I need every therapy? No to mad.
No.
Listen, Heller.
I have parents that come in the clinic and I have the discussion with them that it is important to establish boundaries. Yes, your child may be likely on the spectrum. They're demonstrating behaviors that are consistent with children who are autistic. But it doesn't mean that you treat this child different from the way you would have treated your other children.
Yes.
In fact, you must be consistent and intentional about the boundaries with this child, because they're still developing and they still will learn those boundaries.
Yes.
And they have the capacity to learn, even though they are on the spectrum. So they may not be speaking yet, but it doesn't mean that you create an environment that is conducive to keeping them back.
Sometimes I think it is that mommies may feel guilty. One, Lord, I will me do for cause this. And so they feel guilty and feel badly. So it's like them are trying to baby and and to the child's detriment, unknowing to them.
Right, and that's a normal human reaction, and so I get that. It's my job to say to mommies and daddies, listen, I know you feel this way. Listen, a diagnosis, or if you suspect that your child is on the spectrum, it's not
an indictment on you.
No.
Yeah, you never did anything to cause it.
Exactly. But now that we have the information, we have to use the information for the betterment of the child.
I'm happy that you said that because, Ann-Merita, also what happens is that the shame and the stigma that comes along with this kind of diagnosis, that now you're ashamed to talk about it, want nobody know. And also, there are some very unkind people who will use it against you. Yeah, your womb curse. All of a sudden, it's a mom. Ooh. Yeah, your womb curse. That's why you pick the stairs so and so. Or go, you're autistic. Like, how do you use a child's disorder or anything like that to curse a mother or curse a child?
Right.
We have gotten to a stage, Ann-Merita, in this new dispensation of social media where people are attacking children, cursing children, berating children, or bring down people, pitney. Shame on you.
Yeah.
Children are off limits, totally off limits.
And we would think that that's a given, eh?
Yeah.
That's a given, especially as parents. A lot of people have their own children, and even if they don't have any issue that they have to deal with, you would think that they wouldn't do that.
Yeah, sad.
It also has another side to it where people don't want to talk about it, and knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Sharing is power. You can achieve so much more as a community. And there are a lot of people in different areas and sectors of Jamaica who do have children on the spectrum, and they don't share that their child is on the spectrum, and that's their choice. I'm not saying there's anything is wrong with that, but at the same time, I would love if more people would share so that we can destigmatize.
Yes.
Because oftentimes your child will learn differently. Your child will communicate differently. And the sooner we are able to put the information out there, we can begin to have more intervention in the classroom and more empathy amongst friends and communities that are needed to raise children. We don't have community raising children anymore.
Yeah, it's a one-man band type of vibe.
And I think it doesn't have to be.
I don't think that helps mommy. I don't think it helps the child.
Yeah.
Because as mommy, you feel burnout, you feel stressed, you feel angry, resentful, and it's a whole gamut of emotions, negative emotions, which invariably pours over onto the child or to the children, and it also affects them. The word spectrum, we've been hearing this autism spectrum. What is a spectrum? As well as the new word now, neurodivergent.
Okay,
so what I want to know, hear me, and another one.
All right, so the spectrum really lets us know that no two children who have autism are the same. Oh. So if you go in, I like to use the analogy, if you go into Berger and you want a blue for a particular room, you have a million different shades of blue to choose from because it's a spectrum, right?
Oh, okay.
So you may have a child on the spectrum who is verbal. You may have one who is nonverbal. You may have a child who has comprehension deficits, or you may have a child who has very good comprehension, but they're not able to speak. They're not able to verbalize or have dialogue because they don't speak, but they understand everything quite well.
Is one worse than the other? So like you have a number chart,
So
1, 2, 3.
No, they don't.
Sorry. I asked because you hear a mother say, "Boy, he's on the spectrum, but he's not the bad part."
It used to be that we described children as mild, moderate, or severe.
Okay.
Right? They didn't really like what effect that would have on how a child is perceived.
Yes.
You say a child is severe, what that mean? They wanted more to focus now on the strengths of a child versus their weaknesses.
Very well.
So they've begun to use the word neurodivergent or neurodiverse, right? And that does not only encompass autism.
Gotcha.
It encompasses different developmental disorders.
Like the speech delay.
Like, okay, right? Or it may not know, because a child can have speech delay but not be neurodivergent.
Okay.
So where it's more looking at children holistically instead of having one disorder, it's under one big umbrella, and then maybe the child will get a more specific diagnosis in documentation. But for like school and for society, we just they acknowledge that the child is different.
Oh, so you say neurodivergent.
Right, they're different from the typically developing child.
Okay.
Right? A lot of parents do not like their children being labeled.
Yeah.
I have clients who have chosen not to have their child diagnosed because I know said the child autistic, but they don't want it on paper. I discourage against that for a few reasons. When dealing with insurance, you need a diagnosis in order to have your claim processed and for them to honor your claim. You do need a diagnosis. When you put your child in school, you want to let the educators know that my child will need, these are my child's needs.
Yeah.
My child is not going to learn like the typically developing child.
Yeah.
So there needs to be some communication so that the child's needs can be met and they're not left behind. Because what you find is that the child is in a typical classroom, they're falling behind, them over there make up one bag of noise and the behaviors and the this, that, and the next, and they're left behind. They're just left to do what they want while the rest of the children learn.
Yeah.
You don't want that for your child.
Yeah.
So there needs to be some disclosure, and in order to have disclosure, a lot of the times we do need to have our children assessed.
Understand.
We do need a diagnosis. But back to what you originally said, yes, some children are being diagnosed early when, truth be told, they just have a delay versus a solid disorder or diagnosis. And there are things we can do to mitigate against them being misdiagnosed, and we need to begin to change the way that we, I want to say parent our children, but the activities that we use where we identify that they do have a delay. Because
so how do we get them assessed then? Because a lot of people, a lot of mommies, they realize that there is an issue, something may be wrong, they are concerned, but they don't know where to do or what are the next steps. So you identify the issue, what do we do? How do we diagnose? How do we get assessed?
Right. Listen, I tell mommies, and you and I, we all have this built-in intuition as mommies. Our guts tell us that something is wrong. Believe your gut, investigate it. You can only be wrong.
Yeah.
It's better to be wrong than to have been right and not address it early.
Yes.
You do want to have the discussion with your pediatrician, and you do want to do your own research. As we're in an information age. It's not just to watch iPad for entertainment.
Yes.
It's also to log on to YouTube and listen to other people's experiences and testimonies and what their child might be going through. Read research articles when I like to read anymore, but reading is fundamental. And we have to do that work so that we can at least have an idea of what we may be looking at with our particular child. Now, I always say to parents, if your child is at home and they're not being stimulated, the sooner you get them into school, the better. I'm an advocate for getting them into school.
What age? It's 18 months, 16 months?
Lila was in school by 18 months.
Wow.
And that was because she was at home. It should seem that, you know, the things that we set out for her, for our caregiver to do with her at home, it couldn't hold her.
Yes.
She was past that now. She needed a little bit more. She needed interaction with more children and more formally trained teachers.
Yeah.
And so
sorry, that again calls for paying close, deep attention.
Yes.
And also, as you mentioned, caregiver, Ann-Merita, I'm happy you mentioned that because the village is very important. So you as the mommy, you have to tell everybody, nannies, caregivers, grandma, whoever is keeping the child to, what is the plan?
Oh yes, I used to, regularly me used to plug out the TV and take a card with me, you know.
Yeah.
I'd leave home because, listen, a lot of the time when people are human beings, you may not feel to do anything on that particular day. So turn on the TV, yeah, man.
I'm missing another year now.
Yeah.
So she not gonna know.
Just turn on the TV.
Yeah.
Okay, no. This is a schedule. 10 o'clock, Lyle, after she has her breakfast, she will be going outside for 30 minutes. This is what I want you to do with her outside. Not just sit down and make she walk up and down. Look at the flowers, pick the flowers. Get a bucket, put some rocks in there.
Wow.
Pick leaves, da-da-da-da-da. You know, just something rough.
Yes.
Not hard. It's not college work, you
Yes.
understand? Then when she goes in, she must wash her hands, and then she can have a snack. She can watch a little TV. After that, by such and such a time, it's lunchtime. After lunch, I would set a schedule.
Wow.
I would tell, because a lot of the time, in all fairness to caregivers, they're not trained
Yes.
to know what
Yes.
to do and what would be beneficial, and they don't have the presence of mind to be creative all the
Yes.
time. So sometimes it would benefit you to take a little 30 minutes in the evening and just set a timetable.
Well, guess what I'm going to do? Because, again, not all of us mommies are that. So if you are a mommy and you have a timetable, like you can do timetable, do up one and put it in the chat now. Make a copy it and then tweak it. Like Ann-Merita can put one in the chat. We're going to try organize on Ann-Merita and put it in the chat.
Yeah.
And then you can, curate it based on your child. But at least you have a rough draft and a rough... These are the things, again, in Ann-Merita, that's why, when God put this show to do on my heart, I said, God, I'm going to be obedient and walk in your steps, because if it is even to help one person, because again, these are not the conversations that we customarily have when we're thinking about having our children or having children, be a part of our lives. We just think, say, yeah, you're pregnant, you have them, you push them out and, and I eat that. But there is just so much more.
There's a lot more. And I wish, no, we don't have a lot of time. Things like coloring books, things like finger painting.
Yeah.
Regular Lyle used to go out on the back patio, come candy with the messy house,
Yes.
Go outside, spread the newspaper, get the water, get the paint. Paint not expensive at the bookstores. Just a paint and make her paint
Do
on
something.
the paper and do something, do finger painting. Those things not hard for a caregiver to do or supervise.
But you as the mommy don't have to direct them.
Right.
If it is, you get what I'm saying?
Right.
Because the onus is on you as the mommy to say, these are the things that I want my child to be doing or to be exposed to. Not that you're going to do it every day, but make sure that you incorporate these things.
Absolutely.
And again, at what age? Because also, Ann-Merita, the truth of the matter is, a lot of us, mommy, we're working, we're tired, we're stressed out. Some mothers are single mothers. Some people have more than one picking a deal with, you understand? So it's a lot on one person.
Well, it's a lot on one person because, I have one and in the evenings, I'm so overstimulated. I just want my time.
Yeah.
Give mommy a break.
And that is why I'm asking for these things, because I want to make it easier for mommies, as easy as possible, so that they can have some time for themselves, but they can give the best version of themselves to their child or children without feeling so overwhelmed. Because the truth is, certain things is just not my strength.
Right.
Thank God for my husband, right? He is the guy on the ground, rolling with AA, doing the things.
Right.
As we were discussing, me's a cuddle mommy. Hear me, come, AA, let's cuddle. Cuddle.
Can you get to?
Yeah, cuddle time.
Get to rest.
Hear me. Let us lie down, relax. Relax. Because I think it's my time to relax.
Yes.
Yeah, but you're too active. Come here.
Yeah.
So it's good when you have that kind of help. And as I said, some of us, I don't want to go research it, to be honest with you. I don't want to go read this research paper.
Right.
Could you read it and tell me, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I get you. Listen, not everybody is big on reading. It's all right, you can watch a video.
Yeah, I'm married. I'm watching A is for alligator. Like, I can't. I know what's your next book. I want to bund them up.
Listen,
Yes.
There's no cookie cutter approach.
Yeah.
Some children can skate by, them can watch as much iPad as possible. They don't have no speech and language issue.
Yeah.
If you have a child with an issue and you are concerned, you cannot take the same approach.
Something though, Ann-Merita, that's a barrier. And we need to fix this in our country. The long waiting list, because there are only a few people like you who are in this field.
Yes.
I've heard from mommies, Miss Kitty, the time, with the date when me get, by the time my child gets seen, it better with us born over.
Yeah.
What is going on with the long list, Ann-Merita? And what can we do then?
I must tell you that it breaks my heart, and I do carry a lot of guilt. I get no less than 5 to 10 calls a day of people wanting to enroll in speech therapy.
Yeah.
And I cannot see them, not because I don't want to, I do, but because there is no space. I studied at the illustrious Howard University in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
They carried the program. NCU doesn't carry the program. UCC doesn't carry the program. UTech doesn't carry the program. The University of the West Indies is currently establishing, putting the wheels in place to start a program.
And by the program, you mean your specialty, your
My
area.
specialty.
Which is what?
Which is speech-language pathology, communication sciences, and disorders.
Okay. Oh, so we don't have that at Jamaica full stream.
So we don't have it. They're attempting to now establish it. So hopefully over the next decade, we will see a well-established speech pathology program at the University of the West Indies based on what has been communicated to me.
So, well, mommies, if you are out there thinking about doing, tertiary education, because there are, only like 5 of you guys in Jamaica?
No, man, there are 10 of us now.
10 of us. 10 now, not even as many parishes. That's what the next parish would for come. Me don't even know. You understand? So we don't even have a speech pathologist
in each parish.
In each parish, right? So also from a monetary perspective, maybe as a mommy, if you're considering, furthering your education, or even if not a mommy, maybe if you're thinking business-wise, money-wise, and also just to be of help to our children, because one thing, you're gonna have clients. That won't be a problem.
No, that won't be a problem.
So let me just ask this now, Ann-Merita. A mommy watching this, Modern Mommy Diaries with Miss Kitty, who may not have the resources to come to somebody like you or any of your 9 other colleagues. What can they do at home in their own space if they realize or recognize that their child may be having a delay or they have a disorder? Obviously, you can't delve into because each case is different.
It's different.
General things that we can do as mommies, things that we should look out for, and how can we help our children ourselves?
Okay, so you want to start from the very basics, things like just getting your child's attention. And when I say getting their attention, meaning you may be calling your child and they're not responding or their head is down in the iPad or the tablet. No, I want you to then go to that child. When you call their name, prompt them to then respond. It could be responding by looking, responding by saying yes, or responding
No, I like yes, Ann-Merita. I'm not going to tell a lie upon that. You have to say, yes, mommy, yes, oh. Yeah, yeah, no, me not like, yeah, Ann-Merita, not in my house, I eat my food. But, no, yes, mommy.
But remember, we have to crawl before we walk.
Oh, the crawling, yeah, true, the crawl part. Yeah.
So, they may not...
Because you make my wig shift, yeah.
No, but you and I come from the same type of mother.
Yeah.
So, I couldn't try that either. It's yes, mommy.
Yeah.
But... at least we were saying yes.
Yes.
You have some children that just simply won't respond because that could be an indication that they're either having hearing difficulties and may need to get their hearing assessed, or they could be demonstrating signs that they could be on the spectrum, but we can't use any one sign to determine, say, yes, he did, I have autism, or when people say heartism, it's autism, please.
Yes. For somebody who needs to hear that.
Yeah, thank you. So in that case, you can then prompt that child. When I'm calling you, I want you to look.
Yes.
Yes, mommy, or I call Kadeen. The head must look that way, or you must get some reaction. Is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Can't just be him answer sometimes when him feel like. A child doesn't answer when they feel like. They answer because they know to answer. So you have to teach them that I must respond. And when I say answer, it don't have to be a verbal response.
Right.
It just has to be a reaction to someone calling me. I've had children start with me and they never respond. And then one day you see a delayed look over the shoulder, and I know I'm making progress because I got a response. That was a goal. That was the goal. The other thing is, please, mummies and daddies, mummies, please take away the nipple bottles past 18 months. Please take away.
She don't reach that yet, but
Okay. Where we graduate, we move them from nipple bottle to sippy cup. You can move them to a straw cup until they get to the actual cup. The reason I say it to you is this. Not only does it interrupt the articulators, and because, you know, the pacifier can also be an issue.
Come to that. So like when that for Lego, the binky.
It shouldn't be used at all. But anyway, it shouldn't be used at all.
So what the binky? Binky nice.
But if the train has already left the station.
My train reached a speed train in the Amtrak.
If it's already left the station, please get rid of it by the first birthday. I have had to tell friends, when you are going to your lovely cushy corporate job, please walk with the pacifier in your handbag. Don't leave any at home. Because, you know, sometimes you have one in the drawer downstairs.
I'm ready about 6.
Yeah, no. We need to take them. Just take them one then. Give yourself 2 weeks to... Every 2 days you take one and you don't come back.
But I'm already upon the plane and need it.
No, you don't need it.
Yep, girl, remember she credit the pilot is.
No, she don't need it. You know why she needs it? She needs it because you gave it to her. Trust me, I know what you're going through. When Lyle used to bawl us down when she was a newborn, we used to try to put it in her mouth and she wouldn't tolerate it. And I'm happy she didn't. Now, let me tell you why. Remember, crying is a part of communicating, so we have to shape that. But apart from that, you are interrupting the placement of their articulators and the formation of their teeth, right? You can impact it in that way. So a lot of kids, when they have an open bite, the teeth aren't coming together and the tongue is overshooting and they suddenly have a lisp tongue, which Jamaican people not tend to like lisp tongue. But it's because oftentimes they've not learned where the placement of the tongue should be. They overshoot or they undershoot. Okay?
Father, good and great God. Somebody, boy, I'm not telling you, I could have a Modern Mommy Diaries from one time. Because my never tell me the part.
The other part of it, why I reference the nipple bottle, is this. When a child has a bottle in their mouth, they don't need to communicate, right? Also, it keeps them in that baby stage and that baby mindset. When I have a baby bottle, do you see big kids with baby bottles in their mouth? So why would you expect her to perform at their level if she's still with a baby bottle? In her mind, you are promoting her to stay at a particular stage of her development. So we have to prod our children along. You ask me what we can do? Yes. We can be intentional about moving them from one stage to the next.
Absolutely.
In the choices that we make. So the binky, you want your child to communicate? Binky out, bottle out, because talking children don't drink from nipple bottles. They drink from sippy cups. They drink from straw cups that the straw pop out or whatever.
Yes. Would you say at 2, if the child is not speaking, not communicating, you need to seek professional help?
Absolutely. Big delay. Every age that your child reaches to, that is how many words they should be speaking in. At 2, 2-word phrases. At 3, 3-word phrases. Now, not to say that they couldn't be doing more than that. If your child is doing more than that, then...
But at the very least.
At 2, they should be speaking in 2-word phrases. So if at 2, your child is not using vocabulary words at all, that is a red flag, and your child has speech and language delay.
Talk to me about just what can mommies do for themselves, because it does or can take a toll on their self-esteem, on their own mental health, because here it is, I'm already struggling with this, motherhood is already hard, and here now is another thing which people are gonna point the finger at me to say, you caused this, or true you. What can mommies do to be in a good frame of mind?
Okay.
And to just be able to cope with?
First, we need to acknowledge that we're doing the best we can. I think we need to give ourselves some more grace, particularly if we have more than one child. We can't make what is happening with our child about us, because then we tend to focus on the wrong thing and take away the time from the things we should be focused on, which is poking and prodding this child along as we would want to have them go. Mommies can also ensure that they are exposing their children to language-intensive environments.
And by that you mean?
I mean, they're not at home by themselves and it's only on mommy to stimulate the child.
Okay.
So I grew up going to a Seventh-day Adventist church. I would make sure that I'd take Lyle to Sabbath school every Saturday, because it's like Sunday school. You know, you're going to sing,
Yes.
you're going to do the Bible stories,
Yes.
you're going to do the memory verse, you're going to do all of those
Yes.
things. And when you're in an environment with other children who may be speaking more, using language more than your child, it helps to
Pull them out.
pull them along.
Yeah.
It helps to create or to force them, in a sense, force them to want to try.
Yes.
And it
because
also,
they're mimicking too.
Right.
Yes, yes.
Which is why I said send your children out to school. If they're not being stimulated for language at home and you find that your child may be delayed, no matter, send them gone to daycare.
Yeah.
Send them to a preschool that will take them.
And as we are winding down right now, even though this conversation come like it needs 3 more parts, and if we need back Ann-Merita, I am going to call her. And if you don't want me to get her back, please let me know in the comments if the information has been helpful to you. I know it has been helpful to me, because I didn't know I should have get rid of the binky, which I'm going to do now. But let me just ask you, Ann-Merita, as a mommy, how has motherhood impacted your life? How has it changed you? And what has been the most important lesson that you've learned thus far along your journey?
It's a blessing. Lyle Christina could not ask for a more perfect child for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she is very different from me in ways. She's fun-loving. And not say I'm not fun-loving, but I'm more militant. I come from Lana.
Lana, what that's bad, I tell you.
I'm more militant,
Yes.
you know, the schedule and da-da-da-da-da, and, you know, structure. And, you know, she's so perceptive and warm and sensitive.
Yeah.
Something that I forget how to be sometimes, you know. I'm tough and, that way a ball for, you know. And so she softened me. She's slowed me down and made me realize that, you know, Mommy, there's not just one way. You know, your children often teach you to slow down.
Yeah.
It's not just your militant way of doing things.
True.
You know, she picks up when Mommy is, one of the things we're working on is reading the room.
Yeah.
Read the room.
Read the room.
You know, because that is nonverbal language.
True.
Being able to read the room. You know, she now said to me, Mommy, you're tired? Okay, Mommy, I'll give you some time. I'll give you some time, and I appreciate that. You know,
and that's you also encouraging empathy and compassion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it has made me more focused, more disciplined. I always say, you know, our children should never live a life less than the one that our own parents afforded us.
Amen.
And I've been blessed with parents who afforded me great education and a lot of love. And I'm only trying to double it for her.
Absolutely. You know? She's all the better for having you as a mommy.
Thank you.
What final word would you give to our mommies watching today on Modern Mommy Diaries? What word of advice and encouragement or, you know, just inspiration?
I would tell the mommies, give yourself some grace, right? If you find that your child may have a developmental delay, first, give yourself some grace and understand that it's not a reflection of you. A lot of the times we find in my profession that daddies are the ones that are often in denial, particularly when it comes to them boy picnic.
Yeah.
And the mummies were always the ones that have to stand firm and mobilize and, all right, move out the way.
Get the ball rolling.
Get the ball rolling. But be intentional. Be intentional about getting the ball rolling. Do not only rely on getting help because the pediatrician say your child needs X. There is so much that can be done at home, but you have to arm yourself with the information. And I'm very happy that you invited me to do this because I hope I've been helpful in arming them with information so that they can be more intentional about how they engage with their children and how it is that they poke and prod them along to move them to the next level. I'm always here, even if I cannot see the child or enroll that family in therapy, I always make myself available to give advice.
Yeah.
So it's even to call the office or shoot me an email. I get a lot of cussing on social media because people don't understand that I am one person.
Yeah.
I cannot see everybody. There's just not enough time in any given day. I wouldn't go home.
Yeah, to your baby,
to my baby.
Who needs you.
Right.
Yeah.
I've had to choose not to work on the weekend so that I can give that time to my baby.
Yeah.
Because I'm still a mommy as well. But I always am available to take a phone call or to respond to any question about their child's development or concern they may be having.
Well, guess what? Thank you so very much. We are so eternally grateful to you
I am
for
so
taking
happy.
the time out of your busy
Thank you.
schedule.
I know this is something we wanted to do, and I am always and will always make myself available anytime you need me.
Thank you so very much, and I know my mom is appreciated as well. You're absolutely amazing. Thank you for elevating Modern Mommy Diaries with your contribution, because again, these are the frank and the real discussions that we have to have in order to be able to serve our children better.
Absolutely.
Because they deserve better. And as a token of appreciation for your time, for your knowledge, and for your expertise, and for sharing, we have a Modern Mommy Diaries Thank You Quiche gift for you, Ann-Merita Golding.
Thank you.
Speech-Language Pathologist, right here. You know, you don't get them somewhere else, you know? You know, say, God say no man. Nowhere else, tell her, somebody, call the people and let them know.
Thank you
But we
so
want to
much.
say thank you so much for sharing with us. It has been very meaningful, very helpful, very educational for me. Because I got to carry out the binky then, you know?
Please do.
Yes.
Don't worry, she'll adjust.
She'll have to. I'm going to tell her, and it's Auntie Ann-Merita said it. It's not really mommy, you know, it's Auntie said it. But thank you, Ann-Merita.
Thank you so much.
And this is a token of our appreciation for you being here.
I appreciate that.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes. But more you open it though.
Oh, all right. Oh,
yeah,
right
girl.
now? Okay.
Up in it. Open
What we
it.
got here? What we got
Open
here?
sesame.
Oh, I love this. It's a, let me take it out.
Yes.
Modern Mommy Diaries with
Yes.
Miss Kitty. It's
Modern
a
Mommy.
journal.
Yes. And what does it say? A word
It
that you
says,
use a lot throughout the show.
Bloom with grace. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, my love.
I appreciate this.
That's for you. Yeah, man, you deserve it. You're an awesome mommy, an awesome friend, awesome
thank you.
woman, awesome professional. And I wish you all the best in your endeavors. And may you continue to inspire others to walk in your footsteps too, so that they can help mommies and help children through sometimes a very difficult, uncertain, very nerve-wracking time for mommies. So thank you, because what you're doing is not just about the professional. I do believe that it is God, you know? People like you have a passion and a calling. And when you touch people's lives, when you can, as a mommy, you call your child and you're not responding, and just by enrolling in your clinic, after a while, you can get a look over the shoulder or a response. Trust me, I know the mommy them heart full with them things. It's so funny.
Mine too.
As a mother, the little things that you just go wild over, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it will say, up. Hey, I'll do a up, you know. See me, whoop, whoop, whoop. It's like watching her dance. Like, she said up. She said up. You know? And so to some people, you might look like Gladys Knight without the pips, but as a mommy, you know what those little things mean to you. So thank you
so
for helping
much.
us along. All right, guys, a resounding round of applause for the very beautiful Ann-Merita Golding, my very special guest on this episode of Modern Mommy Diaries. Remember that motherhood can be difficult, but it really is only difficult for mommies who are good, mommies who are great, moms who are excellent, and moms who are magnificent, just like you. Thank you so very much. Catch you next time. Mwah.
Dear Lal Christina, Mommy is so proud of you. You have been my biggest blessing. I believe you are a gift to this world. You are so bright. You light up a room. The way you care for people demonstrates just how big your heart is. This world is going to be tough, but mommy will pour into you so you will have all the tools you need to show up in the face of the world. I will always have your back. You need not look over your shoulder. Step out boldly with prayer and confidence, knowing and trusting that God is and will always order your steps. I love you, baby girl. Thank you for always loving and choosing me every day. Love, mommy.